Hey, Rondale, I'm Kyle from azcardinals.com. Nice to meet you. Can you take me through your emotions on the first night of the draft and why you decided that going to work out at 1 a.m. was the way you kind of wanted to deal with them?
Obviously, I was a little upset that I didn't hear my name called that first night. So, just to get some peace and some sleep, I figured I'd go wear myself out.
Here at Fox 10 Phoenix. Welcome to the Cardinals, man. Now that you've got the draft kind of stuff out of the way, and you know you're with the Cardinals, what goes through your mind when you see your skills team can do in that?
I'm so sorry. You broke up. Could you repeat that whole question?
Sure. Yeah. Now that the draft process is all done, and you know who you're playing for, what goes through your mind when you see the offense that this team has with Calamari and the head coach Kingsbury, and you know how you fit in and what you think you can do with this team?
Yeah, I'm grateful that I ended up here, and definitely excited to go out there and learn and maneuver my way through the offense of going out there and just figuring out where my role is.
Rondale, good to see you, man. This is Bob from the Arizona Republic. I kind of wanted to kind of get inside your head and find out how you plan on tackling being great. And by that, I mean, will you go up to guys like Hopkins and A.J. Green and, needle them for as much information? Will you sit and watch, or are you ask questions kind of guy? How are you going to go about getting as good as you can be?
I think it first starts with just having some humility about yourself and kind of giving them a background of who you are, what I want to accomplish, and just figuring out how they've been able to have so much success throughout their time in the NFL. So whether that be observing just at practice or how they go about every day, or just being specific with the questions and talking about routes or concepts or coverages or whatever the case may be.
All right, next up, Tyler, Kyle, Catherine.
Hey man, just staying along the lines with picking things up from the veteran receivers. What are some things you're hoping to learn, right away from Hopkins and Green and Kirk, and even some of the younger guys?
Yeah, I think the speed changes at this level. So for me, it's pre-snap. I think I'll kind of try to pick their brain about what they're thinking pre-snap. Obviously, post-snap reads, how they learn the offense, what they do in order to go out there and understand what's going on and be comfortable. So for me, I think that's where it'll start.
A lot of people have talked about your work ethic and drive, and obviously you graduated in 2.5 years and sounds like coaches and other guys at late hours. Where do you think that comes from, that work ethic and that drive?
I mean, it was instilled in me in an early age, just watching my mother work so hard to take care of, myself and my other siblings. So I think that's honestly where it roots from. And today, I think it's just not wanting to go back, from what you come from. So for me, I just understand that I have to continue to grind and get better and educate myself about different things in order to, pass it down to my nephew and my little cousins and whoever. So for me, that's kind of how I look at it.
Hey, Rondale, you mentioned humility. It looks like a lot of times your touchdown celebration is just kind of handing the ball over and walking off the field. Is that true to who you usually are? Like, what's your personality like on the field and why?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very confident as a player, but I think when I score touchdowns, it's important for me to, show that I've been there before and it's bigger than me, and I'd hate to, do a crazy celebration and cost a team a penalty or whatever. So for me, it's just handing the ball to the ref and pointing to the sky, one, to show my faith, and two, to just show love to those who, aren't here with me today.
Next up, Darren, Tressa, Bob.
Hey, Rondale, Darren Urban from azcardinals.com. I hate to keep harping on the humility thing, but even in the way you kind of present yourself, you seem fairly low key. I'm wondering if is that how you are? And then there's been a lot of comparisons with you in terms of your measurables and stuff with a guy like Tyreek Hill, for instance. When you hear that, does it excite you, or because of all the things you're talking about, are you a little wary of people making that comparison?
I think pressure is self-applied. The expectations that I have for myself will, always be higher than this guy or whoever. I think the Tyreek comparisons, I have a long way to go, of course, and I've definitely got to get here and prove that I can do it. But, Tyreek's had a lot of success, and I think he does a great job for the Chiefs, so I definitely won't complain about that.
Rondale, just a question. What are you trying to accomplish and hoping to get out of rookie minicamp? What are you hoping the coaches see?
I mean, just the same person I've been, when they did their due diligence about who I was as a player and who I was as a person. Hopefully I can go out there and just show them I'm exactly who everyone says I am. So that's all I plan to get out of it.
Rondale, Bob from the Republic. Tell me what it is about Kyler Murray that you absolutely are excited about, and how quickly until you become his best friend, if you know what I mean, just so you can get more targets.
I'm very excited to play with a guy like Kyler. So crazy enough, I got a chance. I was training in Texas pre-draft, and he was there for a while. Didn't get a chance to really talk to him because I didn't know him much. But he texted me after the draft, and hopefully we get a chance to get some work in. But I think Kyler as a player is phenomenal. He can obviously throw the ball and can, get out of some trouble with his legs. So I think it makes him very great for all of our offense, and I think it's a nightmare for a defensive coordinator.
We'll wrap it up with the last two, Kyle and Darren.
Rondale, I got two for you if you don't mind. First, you mentioned growing up and what your mother did. What was it like for you growing up as a kid in New Albany?
It was great, man, and I love the city of New Albany. Obviously, it's my home, and it was great, man. My mother did everything she could, and I never went without. I mean, the lights were always on. I always had clothes on my back, food in my mouth. Forever grateful for that, and I learned so many lessons, about just what it feels like to not have the, luxury lifestyle or whatever you want to call it. And I think that's what shaped me into the person I am today. So, I'm forever grateful for those trials and tribulations, and, forever thankful for my mother as well.
Then just wondering, do you think if you didn't miss games your last two seasons that you probably would have been a first rounder? Do you think that was the big thing, or do you think just because of your height you might not have gone first round either way?
Crazy enough, those questions, questions like that, really, I'm not even sure how to answer that. I think in my head, I'm a first round talent, in my opinion, and regardless of the circumstance, that's how I'll continue to think.
Rondale, when you look at your game, is there anything in particular that you're thinking, okay, I really want to get this part of my game a little bit better now that I'm on the NFL level, or is it just a situation where you feel like I just need to adjust my game to now the pro level, but I do a lot of these things well already?
Everything. I'm, never satisfied with one thing. Maybe if I do it extremely well, or if I don't. So for me, it's just working on everything, whether that be catching jugs, going out there, getting repetition in routes, my pre-snap reads, even just film study, or, like I said, just going around and speaking to everyone I can who's had a piece of this offense, and just, figuring out what I can and just being a sponge.